You're 45. My husband didn't even look up from his phone. Then he smirked and said, You're too old to be thinking about Bobbies. My mother-in-law laughed. Maybe it's time to accept reality. I swallowed my tears and nodded. I didn't argue. 3 days later, I was lying in an ultrasound room, holding my breath as the technician stared silently at the screen. Then she smiled. A few seconds later, my husband walked in. He looked at the monitor. The color drained from his face. Because the news he thought was impossible changed everything about our marriage. My name is Melissa Carter. I am 45 years old, and I live in San Diego, California, USA. For 12 years, my husband, Brian, and I had dreamed of becoming parents. We'd gone through years of fertility appointments, disappointments, and heartbreak. Eventually, we stopped talking about it. Not because we stopped caring, because it hurt too much. As I got older, people started offering advice I never asked for. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Just enjoy your freedom. I smiled politely every time. Inside, I was breaking. Shortly after my 45th birthday, I started feeling unusually tired. I blamed work. Then I noticed I was constantly nauseous. My best friend jokingly asked, Are you pregnant? I laughed. At 45. After everything we'd been through. It seemed impossible. Still, I bought a pregnancy test on the way home. I took it the next morning. 2 pink lines appeared almost immediately. I stared at them for nearly 5 minutes. I couldn't believe it. When I told Brian, I expected excitement. Instead, he frowned. Those tests make mistakes. Then he added the sentence I'll never forget. You're 45, you're old. Don't get your hopes up. His mother agreed with him. She even suggested I was probably starting menopause. Their words hurt more than I admitted. Even so, I scheduled an appointment with my doctor. The ultrasound was only supposed to confirm whether the pregnancy was viable. I went alone. Brian said he was too busy at work. Halfway through the scan, the technician became very quiet. Then she smiled. Would you like to call your husband? Something in her voice made my heart race. Brian arrived about 20 minutes later. The doctor pointed toward the monitor. Everything looks healthy. Then she paused. Actually, there's more than one heartbeat. Brian's eyes widened. The doctor smiled again. Congratulations. You're having twins. For several seconds, Brian couldn't speak. This was the same man who told me I was too old to dream. Now he was staring at 2 tiny heartbeats flickering across the screen. On the drive home, neither of us said much. Finally, he whispered, I'm sorry. I stopped believing long before you did. That conversation changed our marriage. Brian admitted that years of disappointment had turned into fear. Instead of protecting himself from heartbreak in a healthy way, he'd convinced himself that hope was foolish. It wasn't an excuse, but it was the truth. He apologized, not just for what he'd said that week, but for every time he'd dismissed my feelings over the years. 9 months later, we welcomed 2 healthy baby girls. Watching Brian hold them for the first time, I saw tears I'd never seen before. He looked at me and quietly said, Thank you for believing when I couldn't. That moment healed something words never could. Today, our house is louder than we ever imagined. Sleep is rare. The laundry never ends. And I've never been happier. Looking back, I don't think about the moment my husband called me too old. I think about the moment he realized he'd underestimated both me and life itself. Because sometimes, the greatest surprises arrive just after the world tells you they've become impossible.